Well, I've been holding on to this kit for a little while, mostly because I don't have all the information yet, but I thought I'd start digging into it and start shooting some video. Just a simple black box, right? Well, you see that? That's a DVI port. And then right here, we got our, that was a 60-something pin connector for the back of the PC engine. And possibly might work on the TG16 stuff too, which would be awesome. So yes, that's what it is. It's a converter, external, plug and play, not HDMI, but supposedly it's at least 720, because I've already plugged it in and turned it on and made sure it worked, and I did see 720. And I got a couple buttons over here to play with just to see what they do. But I believe all the information is still in Japanese, and they're trying to translate it for me and whatnot, but they contacted me asking me if I thought that this might sell in the US market. And I was like, yeah, I think it would, especially if we can get to work on the TG16, then definitely. My initial reaction to this is not so great. It is almost half the size of a PC engine, which, who cares, but they stood it upright, and I know why they did that, because the connector is, it's not a 90-degree connector, you know, it's a straight connector, so your motherboard, or the kit's board is straight up and down right now, and the connector comes off that way. Makes sense, but I don't like it. And then, also, the DVI connector comes off to the right, and I'm not really in love with that either. And it does have audio. I'm not sure if it's digital audio, but it does have audio on that cord as well. I guess it would have to be, right? Because I got an HDMI into the TV. Now see, like I said, I really haven't thought this through, and I really don't have all the specs of it yet either. But I did have it hooked up just with an analog audio jack, because there is one on there, to the PVM. Turns out it didn't need it, because it does have audio out. But yeah, the physical construction, if it could be improved, that would be great. You know, just laying it flat and having the connector come out the back, that would be awesome. Also, I think you could actually power the console from this box, and that would eliminate having the power cord coming off the left side of the console. You know, if I could plug it into the back of this box and have it power everything and have my video and audio out the back, that would be a big bonus. You know, and then maybe put the buttons on top even, instead of on the sides, which, just a thought, I don't know, just easier to get to. I'm just thinking if somebody has it in a shelf and it's hard to reach sides or whatever, the very back. And yeah, another problem with it is it's not a pass-through. You know, you've got your female connector on this side, but there's no male on this side, and maybe the male connector is not attainable, but this just means you can't use the CD-ROM with it. That sucks. I guess it's kind of possible that it could be an internal mod, and then maybe we could use the CD-ROM. I don't know. I'd have to talk to the modder about that. But yeah, I mean, we're connecting to all those pins, so you could basically just have that PCB package, the footprint, to where you just soldered it up to the bottom of the pin package on the back of the console. That's an idea. I mean, I like internal mods. You know, I'm a modder. I get, you know, I make money by installing mods, and I don't mind just selling stuff like this. But yeah, I would definitely like to see an internal version, especially if it could make it work with the CD-ROM system, and more importantly, if it could somehow be done to the Duo systems. And I really don't see that happening, because there's probably, geez, I don't know if there's a couple dozen signals that this kit is using off of that connector, which means you would probably have to run a wire to a couple dozen different places. That could get pricey too. So anyway, I have had a couple problems with it maybe not being pushed in all the way. It does seem to be, yeah, it is in all the way, and there is a, I don't know, maybe a 0.5 millimeter gap between the two, just depending on how I rock it. You can see it says 720 DVI booster. Supposedly it says some other stuff. There's the audio too. Obviously I don't know what the Japanese means, but I keep looking at this word in the upper left, and that looks like an uppercase U, so UperGrafx. I mean, I would just assume it meant SuperGrafx, but then why is it an uppercase U? I mean, and I've fiddled with my TV settings, and I cannot get it to show whatever is going on out there. You know, and also the initial reaction is, well, why do I have black bars here, and then the logo stuff that the box is putting out is out even further? Why not bring it into that black bar? But see, this is stuff I just don't know yet. But yeah, it's super crisp and sharp, and I've got all my stuff turned off, and this TV does not have a game mode. I know that was a big question mark when doing lag testing or whatever, but I've looked all over this thing, and I don't see anything that says game mode. And I've got noise reduction turned off, film mode off, gamma's off. You know, and that's just the basic stuff right there. So I don't know. I can't figure out how to make it show that stuff. So I might throw it on the projector, see if I can get it off of the projector, stuff like that. Well, there's it running on the projector. Sorry about this side over here. This is not the normal resolution I use out of the computer to fit my screen, but you can definitely tell it says UperGrafx with what looks exactly like the frickin' Twitter bird behind the U. But it does say 720p DVI booster for pcengine, and I assume the Japanese text on the right, which you can't really read, is probably just a translation of that stuff. Yeah, I mean, it looks nice. But yeah, it's a beautiful picture. I will give it that. But see, one of my other things is I don't know if it does other resolutions, and I tried to push the buttons, and they were stuck because I already had it open just to look at it, and I guess maybe I tightened the screw down too tight, and the buttons were locked in place. And so I went back in and took one of the screws out that actually holds the board to the project case, and now I can actually push them. So that's some kind of grid on and off. I have no idea what that would be useful for. There's some pcengine games that a grid would be useful. Well, the other button doesn't seem to do anything. But like I said, I don't have all the information. It's some kind of video pause. If I hit it while it's doing something, if I hit it just right, huh. It's very difficult to hit that button. I don't think I can do it with my fingernail even. See? I hit the button and it paused. But the audio is still going. I can still hear the audio. It makes me wonder if it's actually still going. Yeah. Wow, that's really strange. I have no idea why you would want that. Again, I'd have to be told what the purpose of that would be. But anyway, that seems to be the buttons, and they're very sensitive. Okay, so that's the initial reaction. I've tried to get preliminary cost figures, and I'm not hopeful. Because they said 40,000 yen, and that's like $368. That's high. Very, very high for 720, and then, yeah, I mean, I get it. It's plug and play. That's nice, but, you know, like the high-def NES. The high-def NES is chocked full of options. You know, and if you buy a kit and have it installed on your console, you're still looking at like maybe $200 with shipping back and forth, probably. So is this worth another $180 just to have plug and play? I don't know. So definitely be in discussions about that. If there's some way we can bring it way down, because to me, the $150 range is probably where I'd like to see this. But you know, I mean, I don't know. It depends. It's like, well, yeah, you might be making more money at 40,000 yen, but if we're not selling any of them, then you're not making any money. You know, it's a supply and demand thing. So I didn't want to plug it into try to plug it into a TG16. I'm not hopeful on that either, actually, but we'll give it a shot. Well, it's looking good. It did plug in. Looks like I still got about the same, just a fraction of an inch gap between them, which is fine as long as it stays powered, stays connected. Let me find the game. Okay, so we got Bonk's Adventure working. Still got the same black bars. Still can't see all of the text on the graphics that the kit puts out. I have music. I do. Well, come on. What's going on? I hardly ever land on my feet. That was crazy. I'm not moving very fast, but there's no blur. There's no, at least not much blur side to side, even when the guy's jiggling a lot. That's as fast as you're going to go. That's as fast as you're going to go right there. Looks good. It looks really good. It's still there. I still don't know what in the world, how good that does. But see, when I first plugged this in, I didn't have any HDMI output. It was just black screen. I don't know if maybe the pins on the back of the TG16 were just very tarnished. I just need to plug it in and unplug it a couple times, because the second time I tried it, I thought, you know, maybe those buttons did something but to switch between pcengine and TG16, which I don't know how that would work, but maybe it was just the pins were tarnished. yeah, looks great. So, like I said, this is just initial, could be a potential kit that I sell. Gotta work out that money thing though. And maybe the physical construction of it, if that could be changed, that would be kind of nice, you know. It doesn't really stick up super high, it's just aesthetic, really. So, but yeah, I'm super pleased that somebody contacted me and said, hey, you know, you want to help out with this kit? You want to sell this kit? You want to review it or whatever? I like doing that kind of stuff. You know, but I just wish I had more technical information on this. I think the problem is it's all in Japanese, and they're trying to get it translated to English. I don't know if I ever got a link to a page about it, but if I did, then I could try to do the Google Translate. I never thought about that. Yes, I did have a link. I think it's a article written about the kit, just a preliminary thing. So I'll put that link in there, probably the English translation link. But there was some info on there that I didn't know about. Apparently they added the non-volatile save feature into this. I don't know how big it is or whatever. I'm sure it's bigger than whatever was, what was it, the like the Booster Plus on the TG16 had that, but it was still battery or capacitor backed, I think, on the Booster Plus, so you had to power it every couple weeks or you lose your saves. I also didn't do any lag testing. I played box. I didn't really feel anything. I wasn't really even thinking about it. But I will ask if there is a frame buffer or how many scan lines are buffered and stuff like that. Okay, so I emailed the guys in Japan, and this will have an on-screen menu. This prototype version does not have it, so I'll just have to give a screenshot of it. And it looks like he's saying you have to turn the console on without a game in it to get to this menu. And these are the options that you're going to have. So I'm not sure that's the final version of this or whatever, but like I said, if I get more information, I'll make more videos.